That's Israelites, southern kingdom that scattered on the heathen in the old world. Same thing with Dan. Now, the scriptures don't speak about Dan in the 7th chapter. All right, the scriptures say scattered on the heathen. Gentiles, not talking about the northern kingdom. Talking about Judah, Benjamin, Levi scattered amongst the heathen. All right? Let me justify the heathen through faith. Fine. Get justify the heathen through faith. We're John 7:35, 7:30. The word is going to go amongst the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles. That's not talking about Ephraim, Gad, Zebulun. Right? It's talking about Judah. Other Israelites, it was a very small remnant of northern kingdom that was in. The southern kingdom, when people are those of the northern kingdom over here, I would say 99% of the people that were scattered amongst southern Europe, the east were Judah people. A very small remnant of northern kingdom that was in the amongst Judah, but it wasn't specifically pointing out the northern kingdom. That's a doctrine I'm hearing about going around. That's not talking about the northern kingdom. Right? It's about to fulfill the Father.
John 7:30. This is John chapter 7 verse 30. It says, then they sought to take him, but no man. This is John 7:30. It says, then they sought to take him, but no man laid hands on him because his hour was not yet come. And many of the people believed on him and said, when the Mashiach cometh, will he do more miracles than these which this man has done? The Pharisees heard that the people murmured such things concerning him, and the Pharisees and the chief priests sent officers to take him. Then Yahushua said unto them, yet a little while I am with you, and then I go unto him that sent me. Ye shall seek me, and ye shall not find me. And where I am, thither ye cannot come.
Right, I mean, the Lord was going to be preaching that. And he couldn't come.
It says, then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go, that we shall not find him? Will he go until he disperse among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?
Right, that's referring to Judah. Right? And it happened when, starting with Peter, when Cornelius. It might have been before him. Matter of fact, it was Philip back in. Peter was told about, well, Peter, because he was going before fruition, but Peter was told that God was going, like the Israelites that was up in Samaria. We Philip. Then Peter went out to go technically, Peter was told that. Then Peter said, yes. Peter was Philip that told Peter. That's a God side. Once it dispersed, all right, dispersed, all right, and that's fulfilled in the book of Acts, all right. So get dispersed.
Oh, definition of dispersed.
Gentile, what is that?
Yeah. Okay, so dispersed goes into the word diaspora, which diaspora is a scattering, a dispersion. Israelites dispersed among foreign nations.
Now, really, because in the New World, there was nobody here, so they wanted to disperse among foreign nations. When he talks about the disperse, it's referring to the Israelites that scattered amongst Esau, Gad-Troop.
Of the Manasseh-made, the Christians scattered abroad among the Gentiles.
Now, when he talks to the Levi, partition the land and slavery. Alright, because the northern kingdom was already dispersed in the New World, right? When there's nobody here. So you got the dispersed, Gentile, or read Gentile. When you look at the word Gentile, it means an Israelite that's either practicing the customs of another nation or is dwelling within their land. Both. Read Helen.
Yeah, so they got Helen.
Well, the kingdom was not Hellenized, right? Say that again. The northern kingdom was not Hellenized. Right? The southern kingdom was Hellenized. Meaning worship the customs and the language of the Greeks. That did not happen to the northern kingdom. Right? That happened, let's say, in the 1400s, and you could say that's more so like Roman. They were made to worship tethered abortion, but they were not Hellenized. Southern kingdom. That's a prophecy that was against southern kingdom. So you got Helen there.
Yeah. Now, I believe they do go off. Let me see.
Well, yeah, they go off. Well, that's a rough definition.
Yep.
Well, go ahead. Yeah.
Fine. So I'm gonna read it just straight, but it says in a wider sense, the name embraces all nations, not Jews.
Right. That's a lie. It's specifically referring to the Israelites. All right.
That made the language, customs, and learning of the Greeks their own.
Right. Now, amongst the Gentiles are the actual heathen. Right? So in that sense, it's correct. All right. But when it's referring to Israelites as Greeks, it's referring to Israelites as Greeks. It's not referring to people that are not Israelites. All right, so we got
It says the primary reference is to a difference of religion and worship, and it says a Greek. It says Helen.
Primary reference between religion and worship. So referring to Israelites. So the difference of the Israelite was between their religion, not their national origin. That was the difference. When it talks about the Greeks being justified through faith and all that, it's referring to their the Israelite religion, that they were Israelites, scattered amongst the heathen. Go ahead.
You got also a Greek-speaking person, right? They said especially a non-Jew.
Right. Well, they keep throwing it in there because they're trying to make it so that everybody can be saved. That's all. But we know better. Go ahead.
Yep. They got a Hellen, a Grecian, or inhabitant of Hellas.
Yeah, an inhabitant. So generically, someone that inhabits the Greek lands. All right? But this is referring to Israelites. Remember, don't lose sight of the subject. The subject is the dispersed. You can't divorce the dispersed from Helen. All right? So, if you got if you unlearn, you'll divorce the two. You got to put them together. So these are Israelites dispersed amongst the Greeks, amongst the ancient Greeks. Because at that time, they were, Esau, the mixture, Japheth that was still there. All right?
Right. Could I say something on that? Yeah, because the significance is the fact that Israel lost their nationality, they lost their heritage, and they took on something that wasn't originally theirs. That's part of it, becoming Hellenized. All right. Because if you think about it, when you go into the Apocrypha, it tells you that Antiochus Epiphanes made the entire kingdom to fall subject to their religion. Okay? But why is that significant? Because the Israelites lost that connection with their power when they went after those other gods, when they went after the Greek gods, when they went after those Greek customs. Now you got some Israelites that were born into that, and then you got some that converted to it. That's the significance. Because as the people of the Lord, we're not supposed to be practicing those customs, hence becoming Gentiles, particularly the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
If I could add a really pretty much basic point, like if you understand, you know, the build of the scriptures, like you understand, like it tells a story, right? So we know that Israel was given, you know, the one true power, right? And we also know, everyone knows that not all of Israel was following, you know, the true power, even in the New Testament. So why would they even focus on the other nations when there's a huge focal point on Israel being the Lord's chosen people, right? Or just the Lord's people in general? We know that in the New Testament, not all of Israel was following the commandments or doing what was required of them. So the lost sheep of the house of Israel and all that stuff, like the focal point was always on that, to bring them back. It was never to bring them back and the other nations. Right. It's more important to bring back the house of Israel, period. That's what the whole scripture is talking about, bringing back the house of Israel, the scattered, the dispersed, the lost, the ones that are going accustomed after other gods. That is the whole focal point of the New Testament. Nowhere is there sprinkled in, adding the other nations. No, every time you hear about it, you have to think in your mind, this is talking about the Israelites that didn't know that there was, which there was. We all are understanding that there was. All right, Cornelius, right? That was not just a random heathen, you know.
Yeah, he's a one-off.
Yeah, the one-off heathen that we decided to be a no. He's that focal point for other Israelites that weren't in the know to come into this thing. That's how it was, man. I just wanted to say that, like that, like this. If you know any story or any movie, the build-up is about the main characters. Israel's the main character.
All right, read Revelation 2 and 25.
This is Revelation chapter 2 and 25.
They're going to count in the northern kingdom.
Yep. Now Ezra's like a.
God, it reads, it says, but that which ye have already hold fast until I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a fire shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father.
Right. So what happened? The Lord said he was going to have mercy on Judah. There's a lot of scriptures where it says that he's going to have mercy on Judah. He's going to have mercy on Judah. And he didn't have mercy on the northern kingdom. That's why, look up the date of that the Syrians took the northern kingdom down. All right. The Lord actually defended Judah for a longer period of time. And he allowed the northern kingdom to be taken. Right, they were taken captive by the Assyrian kingdom, and that's long before Antiochus Epiphanes. Mm-hmm. All right. Yep. I believe like 700 something BC. 722 BC. That's when the northern kingdom got taken away. Now it is not documented the exact date that the northern kingdom left the Assyrian Empire. But they were gone during the time of the Hellenization period, which Hellenic means to be made of Greek. Mm-hmm. All right. Now. Go to page 10 in here. Page 10. It's dates on there and everything.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, we're those two pages, all
right. So read the. This is the example of being Hellenized. All right. You got 210 BC. All right. The northern kingdom was taken away in 700 something BC. All right. So read the example of being Hellenized. Let's start from about right here, Egypt.
All right. This is BC.
Read the date right there.
BC 210. Right. Then when he came into Egypt, he both grew. So that when he came into Egypt, he both grew worse in wickedness, and upon conversing with his drinking companions and such friends as were estranged from all which was good, of whom we have already spoken, he not only preserved in countless instances of debauchery, but proceeded farther to the degree of insolence that he raised reproaches against us in those places, and that many of our friends, carefully watching the king's purpose, did themselves also follow his will.
Yeah, so and the reason why the southern kingdom held out longer than the northern kingdom because of King David. All right? And there's several scriptures where the Lord said he's going to have mercy on the kingdom of Judah. All right? But that was for a certain period of time, and then eventually Judah was going to be taken down. All right? There's a reason why the northern kingdom came to the New World. Because it was assumed by several, let's say, righteous men of the northern kingdom that actually wanted to keep the commandments. All right? But it wasn't up to the ones that were in charge, that were righteous, that wanted to keep the commandments, because eventually they were going to fall too. Because if only you got like 20% of the people that are righteous, eventually
It's going to consume them.
and most people are wicked. Eventually, the wicked is going to overtake the righteous, unless the Lord intervenes and like does away with the wicked. Because as soon as they die, like it says, when he slept, they all continued as they were. That parable in Matthew. When the fathers fell asleep, they all continued as they were. Yeah. So as soon as the heads passed away, the children can continue with what the fathers taught amongst the northern kingdom. Right? So, and that's why the Lord sent the Edomites over to the New World to put them to death.
Yep. Now he proposed to bring forward publicly an accusation against our nation. In raising up a pillar at the door of his court, he engraved on it an inscription. This is the inscription. It says that none who did not sacrifice in their temple should enter.
This is Hellenization.
And that all the Jews should be brought to the lowest registry.
The lowest registry, man. You're gonna be a second-class citizen.
Someone was looking at that note. It says that none who did not sacrifice in their temple.
Esau trying to say this didn't never happen. He'll publish the book, but then say it never happened. Go.
And that all the Jews should be brought to the lowest registry and to the condition of slaves.
But Esau tried to act like he's not a racist, and he know those people are not Caucasians. You know, they're melanated, so-called black men. All right? But he tried to act like he's not a super racist. Right.
And to the condition of slaves, and that those who refuse to comply should be seized upon by force and put to death. Those also who are registered shall have a mark imprinted by fire upon their body.
Right. That's Hellenization.
Namely, an ivy leaf.
That's how you get Hellenized. You're marked up. That's one way, and then you get indoctrinated with their doctrine. All right. Meaning you leave the laws of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, or Yahweh at the time. Yahweh Shai hadn't been fully revealed yet. But you leave the laws of our fathers. That's how you become Hellenized. All right, go ahead.
It says that those also who are registered shall have a mark imprinted by fire upon their body, namely an ivy leaf, the emblem of Bacchus.
Emblem of Bacchus. Bacchus represents disorder, partying, wine, drinking, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so if you were within that, that's where Elder was going into, how it's equivalent, right, to the implant. It has the same spirit, the same shadow of the implant that's going to come in this time. All right? Now, put the book up, so this, I believe it'll be technically like the third book of the Maccabees. It's just history. All right? Third book of the Maccabees. So that contains all the book of the Maccabees, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so put it on that kind of took you and buy something like that. It was under $30, I believe. Five book of Maccabees, Henry Cotton, published it.
Yep. Henry Cotton, it says by Archidon of Cashel and late student of Christ Church, Oxford.
Christ Church, so Oxford.
Martino Fine Books, Eastford, Connecticut.
All right, so if you want to grab the 5 books of Maccabees by itself, and you'll get the where it says the ivy leaf of Bacchus and all that. All right. So, precept. Go ahead, reach for that.
This Acts 16. It's the book of Acts 16 and 1. It says, then came he to Derbe and Lystra and that's like this Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there named Timotheus, the son of a certain woman which was a Jewess, and believed, but his father was a Greek.
His father was a Greek. Yeah, okay. Again, hence on the difference between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. That's the point I'm making. All right. His father was a Greek. All right. It's not talking about the northern kingdom. All right. It's talking about Judah dispersed amongst the heathen, amongst the Edomites and the different nations, Japhites, mingled people. That speaks about what Jeremiah 25 talks about the mingled people, the east, all of Arabia. All right. When it says mingled people, it's referring to people of multi-ethnic backgrounds, meaning they had mixed marriages of different nations. All right. You may not be able to distinguish their national origin based upon how they look because of their marriages. All right. So read it again.
Con. Acts 16:1. Then came he to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there named Timotheus, the son of a certain woman, which was a Jewess, and believed but his father was a Greek.
His father was a Greek, so this was a Judite. Timothy was a Judah. Judah, Benjamin, or Levi.
Con.
All right.
And you look at that word Greek, it's the same Helen.
Go ahead, read it.
Yeah, when you go into that definition, when it said, but his father was a Greek, it's Helen.
Right. You get where
Right.
it says Hellenistic, they were neglected in the daily administration. Go hit different scriptures to talk about being Greek.
Mm-hmm.
When you put that with the Southern Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So pull that. Then we're going to the Northern Kingdom. And the prophecies. So welcome. The Lord have mercy on Judah. This is why you have an exhausted record of the Southern Kingdom, and not so much as the Northern Kingdom. The Lord had because of King David. All right, now there's plenty of prophecies which bring the Northern Kingdom into the fold.
This is Acts chapter 6:1. It says, and in those days, when the number of the disciples were multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration.
All right, so look that up and we'll explain that.
Con. Now, going to let's see, we want Grecians right here. Grecian, you have I think that's the Hellenistas, right? Yeah, Hellenistas, which is of course going into basically basically Israelites they were born outside of the land of Israel, right? Jews born in foreign lands and speaking Greek.
Hellenistic. Hence Hellenistic.
Yeah.
That's the emphasis on the Greek customs.
Right. One who imitates the manners and custom or worship of Greeks and the use of the Greek tongue.
So those Hellenistas spoke Greek. Those Israelites, or Helen, you can say Helen too.
Yeah.
It's just Hellenistas is more descriptive because Esau was trying to separate when it was referring to Israelites, the word Helen and then Hellenistas. So then you'll get confused. It always says Helen here, so that's talking about Esau. But then it says Hellenistas, or that's talking about the Israelites. But I'm kind of skeptical on that one too.
Yeah, right.
That's how people think. Because they're unbelievers.
Yeah.
That's the overall issue. Not because all the words a little slightly change.
And really, so those are people that are a little bit more studied, because the real ignorance of the majority of people just see, the moment they see Hellenist or Gentile or anything, they immediately assume it has to be the other nation. Right. You know, but someone who's a little bit more learned will kind of be like, okay, well maybe sometime.
You know, generically you could say heathen.
Yeah.
That could be Greek, Rome, any other religion. But it's specifically saying Helen and Hellenistas. That's referring to the Antiochus, Epiphanes, and that lineage that forced Israel to be heathens. When it says that word, but if it says heathen, that's more so of a generic word. That can talk about any religion that Israel fell away to. But mainly is referring to Greek. But Greek, Hellenistas is more descriptive than just regular Gentile or heathen.
Can Moab be considered Greek? Hammond can be considered a Greek? They're just concerned about Sleazy being included.
Right, yeah, that's a good point too. That's a good point there, yeah. Whenever they talk about Helen, it's always referring to so-called Edomite, a Caucasian Edomite. Yeah, that's a big one. They're all only concerned with Esau being saved. So the description is all Esau. Well, and that's kind of Renaissance art. The Renaissance tells you that the images are that of Caucasian-looking people, right? Non-melanated or severely less melanated, very fair-skinned people that were painted to replace the old images. Right? The old images are those of melanated people.
Yeah, so I'm gonna read it back from the top. It says, and in those days when the number of disciples were multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews.
Right. So and then you read at face value, oh, that's referring to Edomites or so-called white people against Israel. No, they're the same people. They're a different religion, and those are the Israelites that converted.
New converts, the scripture says. Because their wills were neglected in the daily administration.
Were neglected during the daily administration. And they were favoring the Israelites, the circumcision, over the uncircumcision. All right? You weren't supposed to do that. All right? So read the definition again.
Yep. So again for Grecian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hellenistas.
Yep. Hellenistas is the word in the Greek when you see Grecians, right? Okay, it's like it. And yeah, it goes into one who imitates the manners or customs or worship of the Greeks and use the Greek tongue.
Go to Daniel, Revelation 7, talks about the tribes.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't mention Dan. It's gonna let's go through that real quick.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, and starting at you want to just go straight to it? Or
No, just read all of them.
Okay, yeah. Con, this is
So we see Dan is not there.
yep, Revelation chapter 7, and starting at verse I start at verse 4. It says, and I heard the number of them which were sealed,
So the elect, prophets, right?
and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Right.
Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000.
Right. There's certain nuances that you have to learn, all right? Because somebody come up to you, ask you a question, and they can confound you. So you have to learn these little nuances. Right.
Con. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000.
Yep.
Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi.
Now, during this time when this prophecy was written, the northern kingdom was not here in the old world, southern Europe and East Turkey, North Africa. Northern kingdom was not here. Northern kingdom was not there. Northern kingdom was here in the new world. All right. What?
It says, of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe
Northern kingdom. What?
of Zebulun was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Yahusat or Joseph.
Yeah, that's Ephraim. Okay.
Right? Yeah, you read that numbers.
You said car was slow.
Just stop. I'm gonna restart it.
No, if it stops, it's gonna start by itself.
Oh.
Yeah, just look at about 30 minutes. It'll stop and then start.
Yeah,
But if it stays off, then just give it like 10 seconds.
Oh.
So, that's the 12 tribes of Israel. All right? You got Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom. All right? Now, say the majority of those tribes are already over here in the New World, and that's the prophecy that John received. All right? Now, it didn't mention Dan, right? So the reason why it doesn't mention Dan, well, the Lord knows, because what our elders and apostles teach, that they were absorbed amongst the northern kingdom, but it does not mention the tribe of Dan in the elect prophets. All right? And we know Dan is one of the tribes of Israel. All right? So the Lord didn't cast Dan off. We don't, there's no reference to Dan after that, after the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom split away. All right? So we believe that they were absorbed amongst the other tribes of the northern kingdom. All right? So every Danite, all right, is amongst the northern kingdom. So the Lord didn't cast those souls, those spirits of Dan away. And the scriptures say, all Israel shall be saved. All right? Deliverance shall come out of Zion and turn Israel from transgression. All right? So Dan is going to be saved. Dan is amongst the tribes. All right? It does not mention Dan in the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter. All right? So in time, the Lord is going to reveal to us what happened to Dan. All right? But it doesn't say Dan in the 7th chapter. All right? So, you have something else? All right.
This one, just precept, just about Joseph, whatever. Yeah, the tribe of Joseph was still 12,000, which that's referring to Ephraim, right? Numbers 1 and 32 of the children of Joseph, namely the children of Ephraim, by their generations after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. All right, so when it's talking about Joseph, it's talking about Ephraim. All right?
Yeah, you gotta know that too. All right? And that's another stumbling block. There's a lot of stumbling blocks in the scriptures. Give me a stumbling block. Give me Isaiah. Is that 28? It's 29, 28 and 29. It's a couple. Yeah, 28. Well, we said the word. Well, Isaiah 28 was said the word was unto them, precept upon precept, line upon line. And there's another one too. I'm gonna fall back in the book. And that's 28. Good 28 first.
I got it.
Go ahead, read.
Yeah, this Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9.
Right.
It says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
Yep.
Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
Yep.
For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
Yeah, meaning to joke, jest, you know, and then speaking of the language. All right, both of those. Go ahead.
God, and it says, verse 12 says, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. This is the refreshing, yet they will not hear. But the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken.
All right, so that's what when they read the scriptures, they'll say, "Oh, Joseph." So it said Joseph, it didn't say Ephraim. Joseph means Ephraim. All right, but then you know that could be a stumbling block. Well, it didn't say Ephraim.
Well,
So that means it's no Ephraimites no more.
well, look at the word Joseph in the Hebrew is Yawasat, which means to add. So when you go into the history of Joseph, all right, what did he do? He blessed his two sons, all right, or they were blessed rather. Okay, Jacob blessed Joseph's two sons, Ephraim, okay, Al-Pariyam in the Hebrew, which means I am fruitful, and Manasseh. Okay, and they were accounted as part of the 12. And again, Yawasat means to add. And his two children were added in. Okay? Jacob blessed them as his own.
Yeah, that's where it said they're going to become a multitude of nations too. Right there we talked about. Ephraim and Manasseh is going to become a multitude of nations. Meaning whatever communities they build around the world, like a lot of them, in the Philippines.
Yep.
A lot of those beautiful women you see are not Moabites. In the Philippines, those are Ephraimites. All right. So where it says that Ephraim and Manasseh But then in the New Testament, it just says Joseph. Well, again, if that's a stumbling block for you, I mean, you don't have faith. The Lord ain't working with you.
Right.
That could be a huge stumbling because it doesn't say it on it right there, like where it says about the implant. Or it don't say chip. So that means it's not talking about that. These are unbelievers. You know? So it's beyond it don't say Ephraim. It's just they're not spiritually the Lord didn't open up their mind. Because if they don't believe Ephraim is in, amongst the tribes, then there's a bunch of other stuff they don't believe.
Right. And that's by design anyways, because the Lord is very calculated.
Right.
He speaks in very specific terms. So if you're not learned, these things are going to go right over your head.
Yeah, only the elect. Only the elect. Only the elect are going to be able to navigate the stumbling blocks. But they're not stumbling blocks to us. All we have to do is go over it a couple times, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, use some cross references, and then it makes sense. But the world, they ain't never gonna believe it. Oh, if it don't say it, then I don't believe it.
Right.
You know, Jesus, that's another big stronghold. Jesus, like Kanye West, this is the crazy ass. Yeah, we gotta get together, and you know, and the answer is, I watched all 3 hours of the interview with Alex Jones too. I mean, I already knew he was like that, but it just exemplifies that you can't listen to these celebrities, man. They give you a little bit of truth, but then it's mixed with a bunch of fucking garbage. All right? Kanye West is all about bringing everybody together. The Lord ain't about bringing everybody together. He's bringing on, you know, some famous YouTubers getting put on now because of Kanye West, and he's about inclusion. All right? The Lord is about exclusive. It's not about everybody coming together. And it's all about Jesus. Then you keep saying Jesus. That's a made up word. Then he said Yeshua too, because he went to a Judean. My cousins are Judean Christians. You know, they basically they're Christians, but they keep more like laws. Right? They keep more of the law. They believe that the Lord, you know, he came to save everybody too. The Lord didn't come to save everybody. All right? He came to save the elect Israelites first, and then the rest of Israel going to be adopted back in after they're destroyed if they're in Babylon. All right? If you're in Babylon and you are not of the elect, and you're an Israelite, you definitely getting destroyed. All right?
Yeah.
By that fire.
Yeah, the Lord never used those words in that context.
Right.
He's come to save everybody.
Yeah. Yeshua.
Because, well, I mean, doesn't that make the Christian church a hypocrite? Which is it? You got some people going to hell,
Right.
or is everybody going to be saved?
Right. Abraham Lincoln going to hell.
Distinguish those two,
Andrew Jackson.
which they're not going to do because they're going to put themselves in a big world of pain trying to explain themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
No,
going
that's what I was
to
saying.
hurt them damn brains.
Yeah, a
trying to figure that one out.
a lot of your founding fathers, all right, they might have done stuff that was, you know, not might have. They were doing things that were lawful in the American law, right? But it was not lawful according to the scriptures, so they went right to fucking hell, all right? According to y'all, right?
Yeah.
According
These
to
are questions
y'all.
that they're not going to ever bring up.
Yeah.
They're not going to bring up the fact Andrew Jackson.
Your founding fathers,
Christopher Columbus.
yeah, all right, are in hell right
burning in
now.
hell. They burning in
yeah,
hell.
Yeah, they're burning,
Cristobal Colon.
and then you praise
That's how
them.
they say it in
Yeah.
Spanish. Cristobal Colon.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you're praising people that are burning in hell right now.
Yeah. The fact, yeah. Amerigo Vespucci. Is he burning in hell?
Yep.
All the explorers. What's that dude?
Hernandez Cortez.
Ponce de
Yeah.
Leon.
Yeah. Is he burning in hell?
Yep. Burning now. Yeah. And you reverence these as great men. So you know what does that say about you? That's you know, you worshiping Satan.
Always Israelites that married their cousins. Are they burning in hell? That's lawful.
Right, because they take eternal hellfire literal.
Yep.
So are they burning forever?
Well, maybe Andrew Jackson fucking went through
He repented.
purgatory. Yeah,
no, because in purgatory, that's where you're able to repent.
He went through purgatory and repented.
But where do the scriptures actually say that?
Yeah, exactly.
Purgatory, that's that Catholic shit.
Yeah.
Well, Abraham married his half sister. Is Abraham burning in hell?
Mm-hmm.
That's not lawful now, but back then it was.
Exactly. Yeah.
Abraham, he married his half sister. He said he's the sister of his father. The sister of his mother, but not his father, if I'm not mistaken. Sarah. All right, you got to go deal with that. Right? You got to deal with marrying your cousins. That's actually lawful. Nathaniel, it was an example of that. Well, it tells you about the law. It tells you that in the law. But the example of Nathaniel was the example. All right. Caleb married Yahushua. No. Get the account of Nathaniel. I forgot who was his. Who was Caleb's? Yeah, Caleb. Yeah, Caleb. Yeah. Nathaniel, I get it. Nathaniel married Caleb's daughter, and they're brothers, I believe, or cousins. Yeah, we gotta deal with that. So is that because right now they practice you can't you're frowned upon if you marry close relatives.
Yep. Right.
Right? A cousin or a niece or a nephew.
Yep.
But that's according to the law on
Even
relations.
yeah.
That's actually lawful.
Even
so you
people
have to, so
it's
the
all
Christians, the modern day Christians, have to actually deal with that.
Right.
But they'll never bring it up. Though. And you have to deal with the monogamy thing too.
Now-
you have to deal with monogamy.
Yeah,
Where
right.
does it say that a man
Oh,
is supposed to have one wife?
Yep. Right. Yep.
And we're just teaching you what was done in the ancient world. Now, one of the main reasons for why they would do something like that was to preserve the line, keep it pure. That was like Tobit. Tobit tells you that. The book of Tobit. Okay.
Yeah,
He says he doesn't. He's not doing it out of lust.
Right. Yeah. And it would be amongst the tribes.
Yeah.
If you were Ephraim or Judah, you were married amongst your own tribe.
Right.
Right, because of like inheritance and land issues and all that.
Right.
You know, but you could technically marry anybody you want of the tribes.
Yeah.
But it was more so. That's how it was partitioned. That was the
Right.
custom. You would typically
Exactly.
Judite would marry Judite, Benjamin would marry Benjamin. Then you had obviously you would have cross marriages amongst all the tribes. But you know, like kind of northern kingdom kind of stick together, the southern kingdom would stick together, and that's how it was. And that was mainly because of where you lived. All right. If you lived in the north, you would pretty much that's where you would spend your whole entire life. Up that area. If you lived in the south, you would like now. We pretty much. There are exceptions, but we pretty much not too far from where we grew up at. There are exceptions all over the place, different states and all that.
Yeah,
But typically, marry
just a scoffer.
and live your life around where you were raised, and you would marry amongst each other. Then you would have to deal with Shem, Ham, and Japheth. How did they become the world spring from three
He
people?
missed us. That's why.
They married close relatives, obviously. All right? And these are questions that are too hard for a Christian. They don't want to bring these things up. All right?
Yeah,
How did Shem, Ham, and Japheth become 6 billion people?
Yep.
Yeah, they're the ones that repopulated the earth, right?
Yep.
Right? Yeah. All right. Northern Kingdom account. Let's go to Northern Kingdom. Talk about 10 tribes.
You want Isaiah still 8?
Yeah, read Isaiah 8. Then go to 10 tribes.
All right, this is Isaiah 8 and verse. I'm gonna start with verse
You got
13.
first cameras? Yeah, let's read that.
Yep.
Then take on the first
Yeah,
camera.
yeah. Sanctify 8 and 13. Sanctify Yahweh a host himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both the house of Israel. For
To both houses, all right?
Yep.
This is referring to Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom. Go ahead.
and a rock of offense to both the house of Israel, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Because everything we're speaking the gospel to you, the good news. We tell you about the history, our customs. That all goes back to Yahushua, because he's the originator, Yahushua. So when we bring these things up, we're speaking in context to what Yahushua taught. All right? What Yahushua is all about. So before Abraham was, I am Yahushua. He's the creator. All right? And when we speak about these things, people get offended.
Yeah.
And the emotion they're using is the emotion of protecting women, protecting protecting their own interests.
Yep.
That's the emotion they'll run to, instead of the emotion of being zealous
Right.
for Yahushua's law. So they go, oh, protect women. That's the emotion that they grab instead of grabbing the right emotions, right? Which is zeal, faith. Right?
Right.
That's what you should be adopting, not this protect women, and they're wicked as hell anyway.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's
protect
crazy.
women
Right.
and their finances so they can get over on the man.
Protect women. Believe all women.
Believe all women. Yeah, that's the emotions they run into, instead of the right emotions. So you run to the wrong emotions.
Yep.
Right? And guess what? There's going to be a time of judgment that the Lord's going to bring on the whole world, and then those same women are going to want protection from the guys they were talking shit about.
Yep.
That said you could have more than one wife and all that.
Yep.
You know, and various other things that you think are disgusting and nasty. All right, you're gonna be running to them same men. But the thing is, you already marked, and the Lord going, and we're gonna look at you like you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I already seen the vision of women getting rejected, so it's going to come to pass. All right.
Just a simple fact. I mean, you said it in a nutshell. It's just a simple fact that we coming to teach you what was done in the ancient world, teach you the laws, give you the understanding on these things, and we're grotesque.
Right.
Meanwhile, a woman's mindset in today's day and age is she can rack that body count up as high as she pleases, and nobody's supposed to tell her otherwise or judge her for it. That's the type of society we live in. Completely filled with double standards and full of abominations. When we call it out, we're the ones that they shame, as opposed to the behavior that actually should be shamed, that should be called out, that should be corrected. The brother mentioned about emotions. Yeah, that's something that you have to learn to control. You got to learn to develop emotional intelligence and not let things, okay, move you to offense because you feel a certain way or because it's convenient at that time.
You should be moved to
No, we're not in the
righteousness.
sloggy, brother. Yeah, we're not in the exactly.
Because emotion means to be moved somewhere.
Exactly. And emotions are you're going to feel raw emotions, but you got to be able to channel that energy. Emotions is power, man. Emotions is really power. Okay? So you got to be careful how you're investing that energy. That's why scriptures talk about being renewed in the spirit of your mind. You have to be renewed, which means you have to learn to curb, all right, your emotions. You know? Be centered. All right? Separate yourself from your passions and desires because we know that the heart is desperately wicked. We've grown up knowing these different customs and things and behaviors as if they're kosher, right? For lack of a better term. But then you come to find out everything we've been taught has either been a lie or a perversion. So you have to be indifferent when you're hearing these things and give yourself time to develop that change. But, you know, whatever words won't get you to change, all right, that can't convince you, the judgment of the Most High will, man.
Yeah, experiencing it. Yeah. Yeah, so emotional content, so you can actually be zealous for the right thing. Instead of being zealous, but that means really emotion.
Right.
When you it says boiled up, you be boiled. That's when you move into an emotion.
Right.
Like with these people, they'll move directly to anger.
Right.
And they're angry at the wrong thing. You should be angry at the damn devil. Your emotion should be toward Esau lying to you. That's what you should be boiled, zealous for. But they're zealous to protect women. They're zealous for women to be independent.
Right.
They're zealous to continue in the things that they were continuing in, which is wickedness.
Right.
So you're emotional about the wrong things. All right. Be emotional about the Lord coming to deliver us
Come on.
and to save us. Now be emotional about that and pray for that. And be zealous for that.
And emotions, they all have a time and a place, you know? They all have a time and a place, you know?
Yeah.
There's a time for love, there's a time for hate, there's a time for compassion. And there's also a time, you know, to pull back. Right?
Like analyze it.
Right.
Like you don't gotta, you don't want to let people know all the cards you're playing with. So you want to just like fall back. Okay. Don't even give your opinion about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Especially when it comes to sex or laws on the relations and all that. That's not. If they can't get it, I mean, they can't get it. But really, don't volunteer any information. Know who you're around. You know. That's right. Because most people can't even understand the carnal things of the scriptures, let alone the spiritual things. And the law on sexual relations, that's carnal.
Mm-hmm.
That's spiritual.
Right.
That's carnal.
Right.
But they're so minded taken away from the Lord, all right? Because the law is spiritual. All right? So you have to have the Holy Spirit to actually comprehend.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
But on the surface level, it's just carnal. It has to do with the flesh and all that, But the understanding is spiritual. All right? That's what I mean.
Yeah, this is Proverbs 14 verse 12. It says, there is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
Right, but the end of other ways of death. Yeah, so you can go into your being angry at us because we're teaching certain things in the scriptures that are lawful. Right? But in the end, how is the Lord looking at it? The Lord looks at all this, the flesh and all that, totally different than what man thinks of. The Lord is He created everything.
Yeah.
So He's not going to be angry at the context, because He created the context. Right? So when you look at it, He's like, wow, I created that. I created it that way. So how you gonna petition to me saying that those guys are wrong?
Right.
He's the one that created it.
There's a scripture on that. It says,
really?
Go and amen, who art thou who replies against the